You don't want that playing.
Do what?
You don't want those phone noises interrupting your live stream.
It happens. There's 4 C's to get bugged out about.
Probably. Oh, it says Janet Manson's live.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember the.
God, she's a looker.
There it is.
See that photo? Oh, it's gone. I don't know whose phone this is. Oh, holy shit, Janet.
Wow.
Janet Madsen, your chat is flowing.
Where is she?
Wow, she's got a lot of people in there already.
How many people are in there?
Lots.
Smells like there should be.
She got any moms?
Oh, I'm gonna make a couple. Jen, I'm gonna make a couple mods for you. If you don't like it, you can fix it later.
It don't matter. It's already fucking done.
I didn't know you were washing dishes.
Yeah.
They unsubscribed me from Janet.
Do what?
They unsubscribed me from Janet.
Oops.
It's already done.
I know damn well I was subscribed.
Well, I don't know what to say. I
didn't say it.
know. I'm just telling you. I didn't. I already wiped out some of them.
Is the mic on?
Uh-uh. I don't think so. Can you guys hear me?
No.
Oops. Yeah, I guess the microphone is on.
Where's you?
How curious. I hope he didn't divulge any super secrets. Hello? 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 Hi, Miss Emma.
What do you want, baby?
Oh, I
Yeah,
think
that's
that's the, oh yeah, it did end scrolling. Okay, so, let's go back to the top.
Hi guys.
Now I have to figure out how to adjust these fucking cameras because I'm too lazy to get back up again.
Oh my god, we're all exhausted.
Been a long day, huh?
It has been a long day.
Not near as long as it's going to be for
Is this
what's her
camera
name
hooked
again?
up?
What's Stephanie's name?
Stephanie the cunt Osborn?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Who's
Fucking
that?
bitch.
Yeah, those camera angles are shitty.
It's almost like it's right up your puppy's
I know.
nose. Look at it, it's your wiener.
I don't mind it being up Otto's cross, but there's nothing really intriguing to see down here.
Oh,
Thank
you
God
ever
I've
seen-
got a director. Thank you, Defend. Okay, so
Okay, here we go.
the reason why we're doing this on Janet's channel is because, guys, Janet needs watch hours, huh? So we're gonna do this here.
Yeah, she also needs some trolls. So notify the trolls that we're live on Janet
Go
Mass's
to
channel so
Janet
she can
Manson.
so they can do what they do.
Go to Janet.
So tonight we're going to go over this complaint, which is a sample that you can take to a lawyer to hopefully get things started. And
Oh,
then
I think this will definitely help some things along.
I hope so. I'm going to talk about the pieces of this lawsuit, and most of them I'm going to say, actually, I don't know why that's there. I copied it from a successful lawsuit my lawyer filed. We're going to play a few select secret snippets of the video files,
Yes.
but you're not going to get it all.
Oh, okay. Okay. How about this? We have 136 people in here. I see 59 likes.
Go to Janet Manson.
How about if we get to 80 likes? We'll consider playing some body cam.
Because you know the one I really like is this one. There's some good shit in here. This conversation that they had.
They
This is a
still can't
camera.
hear on Janet Manson.
What's that?
They still can't hear on Janet
They
Manson.
can't?
Nope. They can't hear on Janet's channel.
Ridiculous. I turned the microphone on.
Well,
Move the
No,
mic a
I
little
can hear
closer
it.
to you guys, please.
Hello? How about now?
Hey, stop. Oh, it's just really shitty audio.
Is the mic in the camera?
I kicked it because it was in my garage. It's in that camera. Here, bring it over here. Okay, don't bring it over here. Of course I want that.
This is a live production.
A live production with people that are so tired that we might as well be dead.
Yeah.
Basically, this is a dead stream. So, but yeah, this is pretty good because this one here is the camera. Oh no, I have to transition. So we're gonna potentially see some video tonight.
okay, you gotta kill the video.
Oh, yeah.
This camera
Not very bright.
is
There we
the
go.
vehicle that you were ultimately transported in,
Uh-huh.
and there's some good conversation in here. There's some little snippets in here that I really liked.
Oh, transported to the jail.
Well, before they moved you into this car,
Uh-huh.
she sat there looking up her shit, and she's all excited.
Oh, yeah,
like she
yeah.
had just discovered candy canes on a tree at eye level. And of course, I would like to remind everybody. I see that Catilla also used this my Terminillo versus Chicago reading, and that's perfectly appropriate. I'm glad that she did that. So let's go ahead and give people this real quick while we finish up our settings.
A function of free speech under our system of government is to invite dispute. It may indeed best serve its high purpose when it induces a condition of unrest, creates dissatisfaction with conditions as they are, or even stirs people to anger. Speech is often provocative and challenging. It may strike at prejudices and preconceptions, and have profound unsettling effects as it presses for acceptance of an idea. That is why freedom of speech is protected against censorship or punishment unless shown likely to produce a clear and present danger of a serious, substantive evil that rises far above public inconvenience, annoyance, or unrest. There is no room under our Constitution for a more restrictive view, for the alternative would lead to standardization of ideas, either by legislatures, courts, or dominant political or community groups. Terminillo versus Chicago, United States Supreme Court.
We're at 80 likes, I guess, so I'm going to play the first clip that I want to play. And I'm going to play this clip first because I can't bear to play it last. And we need to remind ourselves why we're even here. This Stephanie the Cunt Osborn went out of her way, frankly, to find and create a monster that didn't exist.
I had been in the back of a car, handcuffed behind my back, for over an hour at this point.
Right, and then they moved into this car, and he said, "Are you gonna at least let me say goodbye to my children?" And she said, "Nope, they're sleeping. They don't care about you." That fucking cunt.
Yep.
And as you're driving away, this is the reality of the human beings that we are.
Oh.
Kind of sucks that we can't hear it.
There's no sound. Just watch it. It's a video. And there's the wave. The wave of pure despair. Stephanie Osborn, look at your handiwork, you fucking cunt. And so, so Otto, this is a sample that I've helped draft with you. There's absolutely no guarantee that this will work. I'm not a lawyer, and you should not rely on my work for your.
Is that my water?
Huh? No, it's mine. We need some water.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, in its basic essence, Stephanie Osborn is going to become a defendant in a federal civil rights lawsuit in the United States District Court for the District of Texas. And we anticipate that this will be the matter of Winston Wesley Knowles versus Stephanie the Cunt Osborn, police officer in her individual capacity. Why in her individual capacity? Because she was not acting on orders or training or policy when she unlawfully seized and terminated your broadcast that night.
No, she was not.
And so, and because I want that fucking cunt to pay for it out of her own pocket. And so this is an original complaint as jury demand. This is a form, the Colorado courts mandate the use of this structure. And I don't know what the Texas courts are going to require. So you can't necessarily use this in Texas courts. So
you absolutely cannot use this. It requires a totally separate format.
Right.
But that's easy enough.
If you're a lawyer, you can pretty much file it however you want to, as long as the margins are right and the typeface is right and the spacing is right. But if you're a pro se litigant, it doesn't matter if you're correct on everything else. They'll make you use a specific form, which means you can't have any footers, or nothing, which is a problem, especially if you go to jail because you have no staples and they randomize your paperwork.
Right.
So I like to put my footers on here, the content versioning controls, if you will, but you know how they are. I don't remember why these pieces are there, but I do know why this one's here. This is the one that you're suing under. 42 United States Code, Section 1983, provides remedy in federal court for injuries sustained to constitutionally and federally protected rights under color of state law.
What video do you think the police be? Color of state law?
No, so I believe that
the cops terminating your live stream might be. Yeah.
I believe that 1331 is a jurisdictional question.
They are jurisdictional questions. I don't remember. One of those might be municipal liability. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I've looked them up before, and I just copy and paste into every suit, and I haven't lost one yet, so they must be right. Isn't that a terrible way to run life?
Right.
But I don't have space or time.
Well, there's no way to know it all.
No. So here, Section D, Statement of Claims. So this is your statements of fact supporting your claim. And in this draft, I am proposing that Stephanie Osborn is liable to you, Otto, for 6 claims for relief, easily. There's an unlawful search. There's an unlawful seizure when she took control of the camera. There is a free speech, free press censorship question when she terminated the broadcast. There is a fourth claim for prior restraint where she prevented you from publishing a story with your content because she terminated the collection of the content. So I'm suggesting that may be a prior restraint. Then you have due process claim for depriving you of your property, the content of the archived recording of the broadcast. And the 6th claim I'm suggesting is the felony of evidence tampering. Certainly she knew that that could be evidence.
She
wouldn't herself be
she
recording.
could have. She must. I mean, she must have. Yeah. She mentioned something to the effect later on in the video, but we won't be getting into it that far tonight.
So I'm pretty confident in these 3 claims, and I'm not as confident in these 3 claims. I'm confident in these because I've already prevailed on these nearly identical questions. So the structure is the same. These claims, I did some cursory research, and I hope that it points you in the right direction because I haven't tested those arguments, but we'll see what they look like. So this is a complaint and jury demand. You're wanting a jury demand, a jury for all tribal questions. And you are proceeding pro se. That's important to notify the court that you're pro se or that you are a licensed attorney, because it changes the way the court deals with you.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to.
For a lawyer, if you
you're
don't,
supposed to get more leniency, and you don't have to.
if you're a lawyer, you're
follow
expected to know the form. You're expected
Right.
to know how to make the arguments, and you're expected to assert certain things. You're expected to say them in the right ways that are meaningful. But if you're not a lawyer, like you and I, then the court seeing pro se is supposed to use their training and experience to interpret what you're trying to say into and fit it into the law that you're purportedly or intending to do. Also, if they require you to use a particular form or format, then they have to provide it to you. So when you're in jail and they won't give you anything but toilet paper and boogers, you can write a motion on toilet paper with boogers, and the court has to take it.
Yeah, I wrote several of those last time I was here in Denver.
So this incident is covering how many likes we got?
I don't know.
There's, hey guys, go to
124.
Janet Manson's page. Come off of Eric Brandt's page here and go watch Janet Manson. Give her some hours. Likes and shares.
Well, you're gonna get exclusive video on Janet's
You're not
page.
gonna see what's going on. Thank you, safety man.
You're not gonna get the words either.
Code. Yeah, you're not gonna get all the good stuff. So we should only have like 3 people in Eric Brandt's page because you're the moderators. Everybody else should go to Janet Manson.
I'll do the same.
So we've got Stephanie Osborn's body camera here. We're going to play some parts of this. Now, what you guys don't know yet, but will be coming out eventually as Otto publishes it, is that actually Stephanie Osborn had communication with the complaining party. Quite lengthy communication, and they were convinced that Otto was a pedophile trafficking children because it's weird that they would be camping without running water and electricity in the middle of a field, and they thought it was also obvious because Naomi is so much darker complected than you and Isaac.
Right.
So that definitely, they were convinced that they had a child predator here that they were going to take out.
Well, heaven forbid you should love someone who has different skin color than you.
You can do that?
I
Don't be
think
ridiculous.
I'm not sure. I don't think it's against the law anymore.
Does this mean I can now love my friend Abity since he's been black?
He's been black for almost a year now. Your black friend, your black Cuban friend.
So let's give them a little bit of video. You guys have seen this video from Otto's perspective, and now you're going to see it from Stephanie.
Yeah, just be careful. I don't want to go past the point where the live stream's
We're not
on.
going to pass that.
Right. We'll have to do that one later in the video.
Oh, I got to switch this over.
Yeah.
Is there a way you can make a document larger for viewers?
The PDF.
Yeah.
I can make the text bigger, but it'll be a smaller page and fewer lines.
Is that the audio of the body camera or us talking?
Yes. Hey, where's the audio here? Well, that is interesting. Where's the audio here? That's weird. I don't know why that audio is not coming through. Is that audio coming through at all?
Well, people in Eric Brandt stream, do you have audio on Janet Madsen's channel? No video, but the audio is good. No, Chili Potato, the video is on Janet Madsen. Joyce says yes. One's if Janet has audio.
So it's the video audio, right? That you can hear? Not our
Yes.
talking?
I can't really tell. I'm a little flustered. There's sweeps going down at Civic Center Park.
If you keep talking, they won't be able to tell if it's from the video or from us. Where's the remote?
Make sure the audio box in the editor is unchecked.
The audio box in the editor?
Can hear you, but not the video playing.
Yeah, does anybody see the remote? There's the remote. Hand me the remote. Let's turn the volume up on the TV. At least I get that.
This is what happens when you do live production on the fly.
Not getting any audio there. Because I had the fucking headphones.
I thought I could hear it speak
So
talking.
they can hear us talking, but not the video playing.
Okay, we'll get it fixed. Hi guys. So we're all going to go over to Janet Madsen's channel and look at some exclusive video and some documents. Oh, good. Thank you, Sarah.
They'll come off in a minute.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
we
try
got
this
bad
again.
way up. Okay, we'll go back. Yeah, I was just letting you know that that's where we're going. You gotta have some body cam audio not working. Yeah, we're having to fix. We're doing all this on the fly. Radio nerd, hello, thank you for coming.
But it's all okay because we need Janet's watch hours to get up anyway.
Yeah,
So the dead time is just as well.
it's just as well. So yeah, please go to Janet Matson. I'm sure we can get some get a link in there. Hey, Bill.
Down on your knees. On your knees. Get down on your knees. What am I doing? Put your hands behind your head. Stay right there.
All right, if you want to see the rest, go to Janet Matson's channel.
Notice this guy with the rifle out? He was the first one to arrive, and he already got out and pulled his rifle out before the other two even stopped.
So you point guns at me and terrorizing my fucking children for no reason. What is your name? What is your name? What is your name? What is your name? Who are you with?
Royse City Police Department.
Royse City Police Department. Happy Fuck the Cops Day, guys. What the fuck are you doing out here? What is going on? Why?
Yep, we'd like to know that ourselves.
Really?
Well, you're not entitled to.
Good. All right. Yeah.
Understand you're not under arrest.
No, I am under arrest.
No.
They don't.
I am under arrest. You put me in handcuffs. You're fucking yelling fucking shit at me.
What we're gonna do
That's taking cell away.
here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna detain you in the backseat of our car until you can calm down and we can have a good
Until I can calm down.
Excuse me, bitch. What do you mean until I can calm down?
I have not had training on how to properly handle my emotions when people come at me in the middle of the night and point guns at me.
Why doesn't she calm down and not just assume that you're some vicious sexual predator stealing children in the night?
They already told me they had no idea why they're there. They're trying to figure that out.
That's right.
Why are
Well,
you
they're
there?
allowed to lie.
Why are you here? Well, we're trying to figure that out too, man.
Oh, it was way more contemptuous than that.
Oh yeah, but these people don't know that yet. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so
We're trying to tell you.
I have not had training in how. Are you
Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to listen?
You're pretty calm to me.
I'm not ready to listen.
Okay, then we'll just put you in the car and we'll go check the safety of your kids.
so
For what for?
mind you, I just made sure that guy right there had his body cam on.
The guy that you don't have the body cam
That I don't have the body cam from. I
But we
looked,
have his audio, which means the device
the
was
device
functioning.
was obviously on him and functioning. I looked directly at it and made sure that his body cam was on.
So Royse City's vehicles have mobile units that integrate with their body cameras.
But again, that's just from what I understand, because they won't give us those records. You see, so when we were asking for all kinds of mundane bullshit, there was a purpose behind that. By failing to provide that information, something as simple as, well, what are the capabilities of your body worn camera system?
Request
do
a
they-
purchase invoice.
Yes,
and contract. Is that what you did?
yes, of course.
Expenditure they have to release.
I requested for one specific vehicle. Right. I didn't ask for all of them because I was trying to keep it small and simple, so that it wouldn't produce a bill. Right, but the motherfucker sent me a $432 bill anyway. Which, if anybody wants to help me to get that open record, it's $432
For what?
so that they can produce a program that's an upfront cost. Upfront cost, and so that they can produce a program that will search their emails for keywords such as Winston, Knowles, Otto, and the Watchdog.
So here's the workaround that I did in Adams County a couple of years ago that was successful.
Uh-huh.
Because they too gave me some ridiculous, stupid thing. So I did a Cora demand for the expenditures of the contract for their email service. and if not, an email service for the server that they host their own email on. And specifically, I wanted to know the software versions that they were running for their email. And then I was able to determine that that particular email server was a standard SQL server,
Right.
and a simple query was all that was necessary. They didn't like that.
No, they don't like that.
Fuck them. We're not here for their convenience.
We'll put you in the car until we check out.
What for what drive? What's your name? What drive? Trespassing.
Trespassing?
Trespassing.
Trespassing on public property?
Well, so they don't even know where they're at to know whether or not it is public or private property.
But you do know where you're at.
I do know
because
where
you've
I'm
camped here before.
Yeah, so I was right about everything, but I wasn't 100% sure about the exact spot where I was at. But I was in fact correct. Yeah, GIS surveys showed that. Thank you, Cassandra, for helping me with those GIS surveys. I appreciate that.
Interestingly enough, Royse City's interactive map, Rockwall County's interactive map did not work for me yesterday, but Collin County's did. So since it's the county line,
right,
I
it
thought
was
that they'd
easy
probably
enough.
have some data, and they did. So
Yes,
and you were absolutely smack dab on the fucking public right of way.
that's true. Yes,
Within their jurisdiction.
within their jurisdiction.
And their city limit extends out to there too.
It does.
So they should have known better.
They should have known. If it's the boundary of your jurisdiction, you should know it. It's not covered in this section that we're going to be viewing tonight, but this area is about a mile. It's a walkable distance and not even a long time.
Right.
If
You in fact did walk it with a couple shadows.
In fact, I did walk that on a live stream. I don't know if that's still available on my channel, but several hundred of you were with me on that little walk. So
they're going to stuff you in a car, and Stephanie's going to go commit illegal acts.
I am not under arrest.
They repeatedly told you were not under arrest
Right.
for like nearly an hour.
Right.
Right.
So if
you're
I'm not under arrest,
then they don't have the right to seize any of your property either.
Right. At this point, I am. They repeatedly told me I'm only being detained. Now I argued the point because this is not this whole thing was very fishy. There were no lights.
Very fishy. They were purely fishing. That's right. They even discussed lights, and they didn't want to come in totally dark because they didn't actually know where you were.
Right.
They didn't want to come in with blue and red lights because then you would hunker down and shoot at them. But you wouldn't bother to shoot at white lights coming at you, would you? Yeah, that was probably the right move, you fucking idiots. But there's some choice comments that this cunt makes throughout this video. That
what is this cunt's name, by the way? I'm
Stephanie
so bad.
the cunt Osborn.
The cunt Osborn.
AKA cum guzzler. Because I can see no other reasonable reason why she's been in 3 departments in as many years, other than she'd be given head, and then when it gets too close to the wife, they got to get rid of her.
Did you just say that she was employed by 3 different departments in 3 years?
Who was it? Justin Pulliam, I think, told me that?
No, that was, I believe, Blue Ivy came up with
Blue
that.
Ivy, that's right.
Yeah. So she found that I found that she was hired in 2017. So she's been there. At this time would almost have been 2 years, or maybe she just was there 2 years. Previously, she worked in 3 separate counties. 3 completely different.
Fourth?
She worked in
Girlfriend gets
Garland.
around.
She worked in Garland. She worked in Tarrant County, and then she came here to Royse City.
Oh, she was in Tyrant County, of course.
I think that was the way that worked. Yeah.
So trespassing? No, you don't. You just get throw shit at the wall, you idiots.
He asked me if I had permission to tear up the grass. Well, really?
What do you mean tear up the grass?
What grass? It's a dirt field.
These guys
It's a
just
road.
come recklessly barreling in directly at you at high rates of speed on dirt roads, and then create a huge fucking mess themselves?
I do believe they did.
Idiots.
Hey guys! It's okay.
No, it's not okay, as a matter of fact.
Lying bitch.
It is not okay, Stephanie
You
Osborn.
lying bitch.
What is she doing right there?
What did she do? Back that up. I didn't see it. Oh, back it up a little farther. What's that on the ground?
Grass.
I see grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks dead grass. Some
Well,
dirt.
that's why if I were you, I would water it.
Oh, well, I probably
Yeah.
had enough. I'll cover it.
Yeah.
That would only been. What is that? What's that? What is that?
You mean that white object on the ground, that polyethylene container?
What? Enhance.
I can't do that on a live stream.
Yeah, they'll shut it off real quick.
So you need to enhance that, huh?
No.
Oh my God, what did I just do? Yeah, I'm not as good at this as A balance in them, but I managed to run both.
We started with, do cows have permits to tear up the grass? Arrest the cows.
They have
What is
effective.
this, Otto?
That appears to be a polyethylene container.
And what's in it? Is it contaminated with dihydrogen monoxide?
Actually, yes, that is
Lethal levels?
a container of lethal levels of dihydrogen monoxide.
Outstanding. And I presume you were using that for hand washing.
I was using. Well, it was actually multi-purpose.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a
I've
solvent.
heard it's in a lot of things. You can even find it in acid rain and nuclear waste.
You can. It's actually quite prevalent in nuclear waste. It's actually now while it contains the most mass, it's not actually. It's the most dangerous. It's more dangerous than the radiation that's actually in. It takes less of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, This is how dangerous that container is, ladies and gentlemen. A teaspoon could kill you.
Yes, it could.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it could. No
That
reputable
stuff-
healthcare professional is trying to deny this fact.
The contents of that polyethylene container killed more children under the age of 5 every year than
Thousands.
guns and dogs.
Thousands. Look at how many children die
From
children under the
dihydrogen
age of 15.
monoxide.
Second leading cause of death in children under 15.
Yeah.
That substance
So
there. And you have it at your campsite.
I had it at my campsite. It was unsecured. The children could have taken possession of that at any time.
Well, thank goodness
And-
this was the only container you had.
Oh, actually, that wasn't the only container I had. I had.
Oh my
I
God,
had
you're a
many-
regular menace here.
Yes, I had multiple containers similar to that one, and also a few different ones. I had a backpack. It's a mobile dihydrogen monoxide
Assault vehicle.
assault
Yes,
transportation.
assault, no, my goodness, yes.
Yes.
Which is useful if you're diddling children and stealing them and running them around the country.
It's useful no matter what
Yeah.
you're doing. So while it's
is
also
that the substance you use to brainwash them?
I don't really wash their brain. Sometimes we wash our hair with it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, so I must also let you know that not only is the contents of that polyethylene container dihydrogen monoxide, which is lethal, it is also a necessary ingredient to life.
Yes, it's highly addictive, and
It is.
100% of those going through withdrawals die within 200 hours.
This is true. Yes.
Yeah. So don't get started now. That's why
Yeah.
I always drink soda. She doesn't go to Naomi, who's over here in the camper. She goes straight to your fucking vehicle. She's reaching out for something. She's reaching under the seat and she snatches a dangerous weapon.
Can you kill the audio though?
You kill the audio?
Yeah, on that one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry hearing it.
What is that she has?
That is another polyethylene. It's a I don't know how to say it in fucking fancy shit. It's a fucking BB gun. It's a spring-loaded BB gun.
I did turn the volume off. Look at that. I did turn the volume off.
It's a spring-loaded BB gun. Oh no! And in America, somebody's gonna freak out over a fucking.
And she pulled that out from under what?
That was under the seat.
It was under the seat.
Way under the seat.
Look at this right there. I don't know why the audio didn't turn off. I tried. It's under the seat there, but when she's done with it, it's not under the seat, is it? What the hell? What did she do there? Did she just place that gun on that seat as if it had always been there?
She definitely put it there and left it.
And later she's going to talk about how he was right there and he could have had it in his hand.
It was
Except
right
it
there.
wasn't right there. It was under the seat.
That's right.
So she substantially changed the anatomy of this scene and then leveraged that substantial change to make you out to look even more dangerous.
Right.
We call that tampering with evidence.
That
Stephanie.
is tampering with the scene.
You're not getting sued for this one tonight. That's coming.
Okay, hey, I'm Stephanie.
What is that?
That's Osborn. What, that right
Yeah,
there?
that thing that she's got the flashlight on.
Oh, that's just a bookcase.
It doesn't look okay. It looks looks
I'm pretty
different.
sure it's a bookcase.
I don't know.
It might be a planter.
Could be a planter. I wonder what's in it.
Well, she's going to open it up and look, isn't she? Oh,
Oh.
no, she's not going to open up and
No,
look at
I
that
wonder
one.
what is in that. What do you think? What do people normally keep in those?
Pornography.
Baby parts. Oh no, that's not right either.
I'm trying to think of that, things that would be in there if Stephanie's story were true. There could be the bodies of the previous children you devoured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their thighs are the meatiest, and then everything after that's just pretty much gristle. Yeah.
Read A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift.
A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift.
You okay, honey?
Try and read it seriously.
No, seriously, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Okay? I promise.
You promised, Stephanie, you didn't keep that promise, you fucking cunt. Nobody should ever believe you again.
Promise I'm not going to hurt you.
Lying
Oh,
bitch.
you already did, and you're going to continue to hurt her. In fact, you're still hurting her right now, Stephanie Osborn.
I promise. I want to make sure you guys are okay.
No, you don't. I mean, I do believe that's what she thought.
I do believe that that's what she thought. The problem is that Stephanie's not okay.
The problem is that
So her
Stephanie
ability to
thought.
determine what is okay is not okay.
Okay? What's your name? You don't want to tell me your name?
It's because they're brainwashed, which you would do if you were trafficking children, is that you would make them forget who they were, not say who they were, and you would train them to do other things like activate live streams when they're not supposed to, right?
Sure.
Are you okay?
No, she's not okay. You just took her dad to the ground at gunpoint, you stupid
You're
bitch.
going to
You
jail.
could, I know a lot of sex
What's your name?
traffickers who publish their every activity on live stream.
Really?
Yeah.
But they're not very smart, are
No,
they?
that seems like the worst idea ever.
I'm just saying, once you were discovered out there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you really should have skedaddled.
Well, if I was a sex trafficker and somebody found my secluded, bunkered-in hiding spot
In the middle of a wide open field.
in
that
the
you
middle of
can
the
see
wide
from
open
everywhere.
field that happens to be right next to the only shade tree in that particular area, then yeah, I think that any reasonable sex trafficker would have skedaddled hours ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I certainly wouldn't have gone to a heavily populated area.
No, where people could see
You
me
paid
from
the
their
fucking
back
$20 for the
porch.
slip at the campground.
Right.
Exactly.
And I probably wouldn't have been walking around out in the field with flashlights.
Although there doesn't appear to be any mention of the flashlights in the previous views, does there?
What?
Did they mention the flashlight prior to they're coming down on you?
You know, I don't know because it doesn't say it in the report, and they didn't. Well, I can't even mention what the other video before what was before this.
Oh,
Yet.
not yet.
But it was talked about. I believe that there's also probably another call that's missing. because that's
Or
it
have to be.
could have been on the dispatch. But I did hear where they were talking
I have
about
camera.
somebody. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi. I did hear about somebody mentioning that we were out in the field playing with flashlights and lasers. But that could have been a distortion.
But there's a guy out there on his ATV.
Right.
Expresses he's going to be out there bird hunting on Sunday.
Right.
Kids running around on razors.
Uh-huh.
People are using this field.
Right. It's actually quite well traveled.
Yeah.
You
And
can see
the
that.
road is still
You
maintained.
can see that from the video, even when they were pulling up to the very end.
So this county line road used to be the old paved highway before the interstate come through, you said.
Historically, I'm not sure if it was ever paved.
Okay.
But
it is
But
maintained.
it is maintained by the county. Sorry, guys. I was finding the link for a modest proposal.
Good shit.
Oh, what is it? Control P? Control P is for paste.
Control V is paste.
Oh, thank you. Control P is.
Control P
Print.
is print.
Off in a minute.
She says the handcuffs are going to come off in a minute. Not a true statement.
What's your name, honey?
So everybody's calling Otto's phone right now, and it's buzzing off the hook, right? And Naomi's phone just rang. It's her mom, and she wants to talk to the officer.
Yeah, because people who are engaged in nefarious activities often give their children phones with working connections to the outside world.
Well, that's all to keep up the roost. You know, it's not really the mom, but
Right.
it's a really good story.
Oh, God damn it. Control V. There it is.
By the way, look at this heavily laden truck. You can even see the back end of your truck is like weighted down. It's got so many provisions.
Yeah, yeah. So I had just gotten back that day. Yeah, I even had wood.
You have wood.
Yeah, because I
Let
knew
me
that
switch the
I knew
camera.
that I was gonna be getting back. Yeah, go ahead. I knew
Just
that
see
I was
the
gonna be
wood.
back. Oh, I don't. Oh, I'll get a low angle. So, well, maybe probably from a. I don't know. I'll have to do some directing on.
And
my
later
posters.
on, you guys might have the opportunity to see the officers actually lifting these covers and tarps and whatnot,
That yeah,
which is not in plain view.
No.
In fact, Naomi is so smart, she tells them that they're not allowed to go searching there without a warrant.
right? Because she.
Oh, honey,
knows.
we're not searching. We're just looking. No, you were searching. So the mom is talking with the officer and telling her that, I watch his live streams all the time. I heard my daughter scream. That's why I called.
Right.
Okay. Let me tell you where they're at.
Listen to the contempt in her voice.
Of a field in Royse City in a pop-up camper.
Hey, this is turned on us.
Like
Oh no, I'm not live. Let me double check.
I don't know. Somebody actually called in on this because they were driving razors in the field and saw them and were concerned about your kids. So they called us. So we weren't sure what we were coming into. We're not sure.
She's trying to cosplay herself into the justification for this bullshit.
They have been there a minute at this point. They already, huh?
We're at about 4 minutes.
4 minutes? Okay, well, they haven't been there very long. So this is with no information. She apparently knows everything.
Oh, she's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take a shortcut because I want to play a select audio clip. Of course, I don't know if it's the right clip because I didn't label it. Damn it.
I do have a lot of traveling to do. I am not going to put tires on my Beamer. I need gas money.
Well, that's the beginning.
Fuck, I don't know how I'm going to do all this shit.
What the fuck play, damn it?
We have lots of, yeah, here's people saying do it on behalf of the kids. We're working on it. this is not easy shit.
Here, hang on one sec. When we figure out
Sorry, I gotta find this. Is such a great clip.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Stephanie London and Lady D. Was it Lady D? Shit,
Word
I'm
Milk
so
TV.
bad. Word Milk TV? What do you do?
The transcription?
Do you do that?
I thought, no, she did.
No, Stephanie London. I always get these other two names mixed up. But thank you for. I mean, dude, this has been a community effort, and without the community, we'd be way behind. There's no way.
Yeah, we're on live stream.
There's
Sorry,
no
this is
way.
gonna be a clip of the day. Trust me. She's so fucking dumb. That's why I'm pretty sure she's blowing him.
identify himself yet? I mean, he needs the very first element.
Okay, yeah. So she's in the car here. This is hysterical. She's tapping away at the computer.
He needs the very first element to extract him.
Oh.
He meets the very first element. You stupid bitch! You have to meet
All
the
the elements.
Every single one of them. You can't leave one out.
Why am I not able to post? Oh, because it's Janet's channel. She's brand new. I'm not a mod. That's okay.
So she's reading further. She's so excited. And I'll make you a mod here while it's
Okay.
playing. If it catch up here.
Here's he actually needs all these. Person commits an offense if the person
All these,
criminal
really.
negligence interrupts
Where's your
disrupts,
post at?
impedes, otherwise interferes with
It's just a
the police
fist.
officer
Oh,
while
that's
police officers
no
performing
down.
a duty or exercising authority.
It was a link,
imposed
so it's been
or
blocked.
granted by
There's me.
law.
Mod me.
I mean, there's like firepower, animal control, medical services.
Uh-huh. Yeah. A firefighter, a canine,
Oh, you definitely meet the
animal
firefighter
control. I mean, come on, bitch.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
It's better. I thought I couldn't get any worse than this. This is so fucking funny. This is the funniest fucking statement I've ever heard a police officer in my life say.
So I cannot post a link.
Now, even now that you're on it, did I do it right?
I think we're having an issue on Edward's channel.
When we, this is an officer.
Oh, that's the Janet's channel.
You don't know, Stephanie. You don't know. So why is she assuming the worst? And now it's apparently obstructing because you wouldn't identify the children? If you were stealing children, identifying the children would incriminate you. And you have the right to protect yourself from self-incrimination, and those rights must be sacrosanct for our worst, most hideous monsters if they're deserving of our whitest, most pleasant angels.
Yeah,
Period.
you know, most Texas dogs have a. They just don't understand them. They don't understand disorderly conduct interference.
Oh, it's a go-to all the time. But what kills me is Stephanie spent the last 3 years sucking dick instead of reading the law book because she's only just now after 3 years discovered interference.
She's going back.
The echo's back. What echo? I didn't know it was there.
She spent less than a year at 3 different departments in 3 different counties.
Should have spent more time in the law library and less time in the locker room.
And now she's out here in Royse City. And she took a pay cut to take this position.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't have my glasses on. What am I reading?
She took a significant pay cut, like 10 grand a year. So I don't think
okay.
I don't think that she came all the way out to Royse City and took a huge pay cut because she has such a spectacular performance review. So another thing that really pisses me off, we've been trying to get records on the personnel file and complaints made against these specific officers and others. and so far we have been unsuccessful in actually receiving the documents. Now, of course, there are some documents that are ready to be picked up, but we haven't picked those up because those are basically insignificant now. It took them so long to produce the open records that they are no longer relevant because we found that information through other sources. So I would like everybody to understand how many hours of human effort has gone in to these specific things. What is her disciplinary record like? Has she had any complaints filed against her specifically, just her? Right. Then we have 2 other officers on scene. Right. It took us about when Justin when I didn't know shit about doing open records requests a year ago, and Justin Pulliam helped get those records. Basically, he did it. Right? And then I've
Basically,
copied his shit
they're
since then.
impossible to get anywhere.
Yeah.
It's always a fight for records, and you need to make the fight more miserable for them than just complying.
Right. So we've been trying. The reason there hasn't been any updates lately is because there's been
They
nothing
don't
to
give us
update
any
on.
information.
Using this lady's on the phone saying we can't identify that lady as the mom of the children.
True statement.
But he won't give us the names of the children, and he refuses to comply and give us his name. So he's interfering with an investigation.
No, he's not, sweetheart. He's enjoying its constitutional liberties. You're the one that's interfering.
I am not required to answer your fucking questions.
Nope.
So, but they act like
interference requires force.
They act like every time they wanted my name, they came up and asked me for it.
The peace officer is performing a duty, i.e., copper
She
service,
said
or
duty.
exercising authority imposed or granted by law. It's A1.
A1.
And when you arrest on A1, then there's an automatic fill out ID because he's arrested for A1.
No, not a true statement. And then I think this is the one. This is the holy grail here. I think. I don't know. I have such latency tonight.
Oh my god, I'm gestating another food, baby. Stop taking the fat guy to the buffet. It was so good though.
We got to hear that again. This is the Stephanie I'm a cunt Osborn quote of the century right here. She has just discovered interference.
She just discovered
the
interference.
Most commonly abused statute in America after 3 years of sucking dick.
I can articulate this all day long. Just give me the go.
Just give me the go. Just give me the go. All right, so
Stephanie, you couldn't articulate yourself out of a wet paper bag if somebody bludgeoned it off of you.
This timestamp in the left, that's the current time in the video.
That's
an hour and 4 minutes.
Yeah, this is the position from the beginning of the video. It's not synced to real time.
It took this distinguished officer. It took this distinguished officer who's being paid currently $50,000 a year
to suck dick.
1 hour.
Wait a minute. How does she get to be paid for that?
Hey, at $20 a pop, that's she's been busy.
I'd do it for a lot less than $50,000 a year.
So it took this this paid employee who gets $50,000 a year. No, it's 50. She got a raise. It's 52,000 now. She gets
a raise.
Yeah, she gets $1,000 a week.
She must have been out saving homeless children.
Which honestly, she's getting screwed because there's a poor lady in the Rockwell County courthouse who's getting paid $1,000 a week to watch our YouTube channels.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so it took him an hour.
This all day long. Just give me the go.
That's my favorite line of
the
whole day.
If you can articulate it all day long, I wish you would come over to the door and speak to me and articulate how I'm interfering with your investigation. Investigation of what? Investigation of a crime?
Let me ask you a question. Let's say that you had some assholes there like, I don't know, James Freeman or Furry Potato or Johnny Five-O or what was that king that recently got deposed? CCW.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If they were standing
That
off
was
to the
that was so
side here,
sad. He
would they
lost
be
his
allowed to
turf.
record or broadcast from their devices? If I
Oh,
were
yeah,
standing right there,
absolutely.
would I have the right to record this interaction with law enforcement?
Absolutely.
Oh, I would. So
Yeah.
if I'd have that right, how come you don't have that right?
I do have that right.
Oh, you do have that
I
right.
do have that right.
Oh, well, let's just
Uh,
see
b-
how
re- remember-
well you get served that right.
I have not been arrested yet.
Correct.
I am simply being detained for an hour, handcuffed behind my back in a squad car, while they investigate what crime I may have committed. They have, for what?
So mom just told us that she was watching the live stream,
Back it up a little
and
bit.
she immediately went into panic mode. Bam! What violation just occurred?
That's the Fourth Amendment. She entered my vehicle. Why
She
did you
entered
enter my
that vehicle. That's right. And she commenced a
Search
search.
and about to commence
So
a
let's take a
seizure.
look at what that looks like. So we're going to read some of this through here. This introduction and statements of fact are going to paint the picture of what the case is about. So this is kind of your narrative in factual format.
Right.
That,
By the
that
way,
gives the
just a reminder, this is all hypothetical at this point.
right. This is this is something I might try to take to a lawyer, but it is not. I repeat, this is not ready to be filed in court because it needs to be reviewed properly.
It absolutely needs to be reviewed.
So I could be completely wrong on all this, even though I'm not. I'm probably wrong on a little bit of it. But
Yeah. Also, so this is based entirely off of the first, off of what was presented from my section of the live stream before. What was her name?
Stephanie the cunt Osborn.
That's the one. That's the one. Before Stephanie the cunt Osborn discontinued my live broadcast.
So on August 26, 2019, at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you arrived and began to set up camp after traveling from Colorado straight through. You found the only shade tree. You parked the fucking vehicle under there, and you left the windows up because of the air conditioning.
Right, and of course we're gonna have the times aren't exactly correct. It's just approximately. This is also based off of their own statements.
Correct.
Right. Now, mind you, the validity of their statements is also called into question because that was hearsay. Right. The only information that they had was from a third party source, not an actual witness.
Well, no, these statements of fact you want to be factual because this is your complaint. So.
Yeah, when this goes into complaint, but as of now, this information is based off of the time up until the live stream was shut off and the officers' reports.
So this is a political roadway forming an easement and the political boundaries separating Rockwall and Collin counties. The location is approximately 1 mile from available restroom, water, food, or medical services.
This is true.
Because one of the allegations is that they didn't have water or proper nutrition.
Right.
So this dude drives by an ATV, chats with you for a while.
You mean the trespasser who was destroying the farmer's property?
Correct. Tearing up the grass so they could kill the birds. And he went back home. This is like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, right?
Right.
It's 11 o'clock.
Right. And so
it's such an emergency.
Yeah. It's such an emergency. It took them hours to show up.
Now, at some time, you saw some lights moving around kind of in the direction of those houses.
Yes.
But you didn't really focus on it because that's what people do, right? So a plaintiff assumed the activities to be merely kids joyriding and enjoying the open field on a warm summer night, or residents engaged in similar activities. Footnote number 1. This complaint is really in the footnotes. Let's read the footnote. Plaintiff would later learn that the wife of the man he spoke with several hours later became paranoid. Her word, by the way, not ours. That's her word to the police officer. That plaintiff might very likely be some pedophile trafficking children. This was largely because Naomi is Hispanic and much darker complected than either Isaac or the plaintiff. That's what I would have thought. That's the first thought that came to my mind.
Must be. Because I've never
I've
seen
written this. I
multiracial-
wrote that sentence and the thought's still not coming to my mind. I don't get it.
I have never seen a biracial couple.
Oh, you haven't?
No, they do not exist. It's called apartheid, and it is against the law.
Oh, it's an abomination
It's
for
an
sure.
abomination,
Yeah.
absolutely. Right.
So the wife called the police for a welfare check. Claiming that
Thank
the family
God.
was camping without running water or grid electricity.
Thank the good Lord I'm not a black guy who likes white women.
Thank God Stephanie
Oh
Osborn was
my
there to
God.
check up on your
I'm
homeless
so
children.
glad. I'm so glad. Thank you, Stephanie, for making sure everything was okay.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah, she's just there to help. We just want to make sure you're okay.
It should be noted that in the discussions in the other cameras, it's very obvious that they tried to get the husband to come out and talk to him, and he could not be bothered to come out of bed, which means he didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so Osborn, the defendant, just spun this hideous tale of danger, presuming plaintiff to be guilty of their worst fears, which they maintained, by the way, and may even still maintain. I don't know.
All the way until the end.
In fact, it was so bad that Osborn waited for a rifleman to arrive before ambushing the family in the night. And I use those words specifically. This was a family in the night that was ambushed with armed goons.
That's right.
Pointing them at you. Then they recklessly drove towards you. And you still didn't know what was going on. But you knew they
Right,
were
so-
fucking rolling fast, right? And
Yeah,
you knew
so-
you were in the fucking way.
So when you're off-roading, particularly at night, it's customary for the lead vehicle to have their bright lights on, their brightest lights,
Yeah.
right? And then the vehicles who are behind that person to have their low beams on, right? So that you're not blinding the people in front of you, and the lead vehicle has the best vision, right? That's just
Yeah, but you are a sexual predator stealing children, and
Right.
they need to make sure you're blind.
absolutely, yeah. So on the videos they do have GPS showing how fast they were moving.
Oh, really?
Yes, they
Oh,
did.
okay.
But you of course you didn't get that. You can't see any of that because that's on a different format.
I'd be curious to know how fast they were going.
Oh, it would be, wouldn't it? I would love to tell you, but
Hey, that'll be content for another time.
it'll be content for another day.
To ensure these drivers were aware that there was another vehicle potentially in the direct path, plaintiff did what he would do. You turn your lights on, thank you, to let him know you're there, right?
Right.
So that you're not sitting in the dark and get run over. And you also stepped out of the vehicle, and you had a little green keychain flashlight, huh? You thought it was a laser, I'm so sure.
Thank you, sir.
So in response, they blinded you.
Right. They had lots of lights.
We had that little exchange there. They were mean and nasty to you. Then you saw the fucking rifle.
Yeah, after they thank you. Yep.
We've all heard Naomi scream. It's epic. Osborn finally tells you they're Royse City police officers. I'm sure you felt safe.
So I heard the first guy say something. I couldn't quite understand exactly what he said, but I did interpret it as some sort of, official, But again, it's from a distance in the fucking dark.
What was really clear to me was he said, "Put the flashlight down, or put the
laser
down."
down. Right. Well, so
And you latched onto that part.
yeah.
You shouldn't give compound commands for a reason.
I mean, come on, guys.
And it's interesting how you were there for over an hour and they still never told you anything.
Right. All the way up until the very they didn't tell me what I was being what any of that was about. You know, I got a timestamp of it. I've watched this shit so many times, it's all running together. That's
I
why I
like
need
what you
fresh
did
eyes on
here
it.
too, and I highlight this and I put it in here. Plaintiff very boldly and clearly stated that he did not consent to any searches or seizures of his person or property.
Right.
That's important to state that. You should state that anytime you have a search and seizure question, you should absolutely state that you did not consent.
Right.
And it would
So
be better if you could boldly disconsent.
so if I was inside the vehicle, you know, that's a if you're inside the vehicle and they came up like that, if I had shut my door and rolled up my windows,
He'd shot you. He was itching on that trigger. He'd fucking shot you.
and so I get out, and because I get out, I didn't even want to shut my door because they were yelling at me like that, right? So but again, I couldn't see shit, and
Right.
that'll be shown better in some of the other videos. Again, this is all just from the section where where you can actually see it from my live stream. So we're doing all this based on
I
old
mean, they really
news.
are two completely different vantage points.
Yes, there are.
Which means they're two different contents.
Yeah.
And you had the right to your content.
Well, like you said, if somebody else was there and they had decided to record, they could have done so
Unmolested.
unmolested.
And her claim that it was for officer safety is bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit. How did it create a safety issue? Why would it create a safety issue?
So plaintiff watched from the patrol vehicle as officers opened doors, lifted cooler lids, lifted tarps and other objects, and conducted clearly beyond plain visible searches of his vehicle, camper, and other property, and questioned his children.
Repeatedly. Not just one time. Round and round and round.
Plaintiff clearly observed defendant Osborn enter his truck on the driver's side and use her hands to manipulate the audio and video broadcasting and archiving equipment, the same device he had initiated the stream on.
Fucking bitch.
Here it's established that she regularly broadcasts and she watches because she's an involved mother.
Yes. So oftentimes we would have private streams where nobody else got to watch, just so we could have what is that called? Like when you do it on the computer, Skype, like Skype, right? So
So you'd have the record at least, yeah.
yeah, I don't know how to get it up from that, but we can get it. It's not even. That's not even that's not even a question.
Shouldn't be.
It's good for me, but I thought that you're innocent until proven guilty.
Don't be ridiculous.
What? Are you telling me that
You're
I have
guilty till
that
they decide you're guilty.
are you telling me that I actually have to defend my innocence?
Oh, I'm sorry, but your innocence left you a long time ago.
That is not an untrue statement.
So, defendant Osborn immediately initiated a warrantless search for the broadcasting device.
Right.
Let's switch this around. I'm too tired. Oh, we did. Okay, good. So we go back to here. She's in the truck. She's on the seat, and she's trying to figure it out.
She's fully
not very
inside
bright.
the truck.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have to.
Gonna have to what? Come get these kids.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, here, hang on one sec.
Why is she?
When we figure out, okay, once we figure out that
There he
the kids
goes.
are not in,
Wow. It took her a while to figure out how to
She's
shut
not
that
very
live stream
smart.
off. Yeah, I guess she's never had the ability to have a live stream.
So
I've seen one like that. I mean, it's just a simple X on the top of the screen, but it's a very deliberate action. With she had to take, she had to make the decision.
Hang on one sec. When we figure out, okay, once we figure out that.
so she deactivated that recording device.
Yes, she did. Now they tried to access the device again multiple times
Did it
after
really?
this. Yes. But that's on the other guy's body cam. Right. I think she went back to it also. But that's in some of my notes here to find out where that is.
Can't. So that's as far as this video, that your video here is going to take us today, right?
Yes.
So she has now committed the violations
That are outlined in this theoretical lawsuit.
Right.
You know, of course, we have to be very careful on all the shit here. And it's not even close to getting to being published, but we'll get there.
So she terminates your live stream, but she had activated her body-worn camera device prior to arrival.
Oh yeah, she was actually really good about making sure her camera was on, which I appreciate. I'm so tired, bro.
I am too.
How much more of this we got?
Oh, too much. Let's at least get into a couple of the claims. I mentioned here that, so she's wrongfully asserting officer safety. It's a fucking camera.
Right, what is it gonna do?
Probably catch her giving blowjobs in the back. That's what it'll do. And then she won't have a job. Plaintiff had every right to record and or broadcast this rather unusual incident.
I'm not so sure why she has a job right now.
I am. Gotta love affirmative action.
Yeah, she's a quota hire.
You gotta hire this.
So I have this argument a lot. Some people say that women should not be police officers. I disagree. I think that there are definitely times and places where having a female officer specifically is important. What I absolutely am not in favor of is quota hires, where you must have this many of this and you must have this many of that. It should be a blind hiring process.
Well, if it's a blind hiring process, then we have to involve an ADA coordinator.
Which would never happen. Which is also acceptable. I would rather not people have to deal with this kind of shit. So I also would like to encourage people to go to the Royse City Police Department's Facebook page and look at the posts that were made from about a year ago. And previously, before that, this place has had a long history of satisfactory results from the locals. This isn't the first time that a situation like this has happened, and I do not believe that this is the first time Stephanie the Cunt Osborn has actions have directly resulted in the destruction of a family.
Now here's what I don't get.
And the severe and lasting trauma thereof. Yeah, go ahead.
How come she's not getting any smarter, but she's just getting dumber?
I don't, because she's not being punished. There is absolutely no repercussions that we can tell. Maybe she got fired from the previous places, but she's still able to go to another department and get a job.
She may have been told she needed to resign in lieu of discipline.
Maybe she did. Maybe she resigned from those places. That's open records that we're going to have to file when we get time. So we might need some help with that. If anybody is interested in this, and Stephanie Osborn's history and employment record, her employment record is absolutely publicly available. I do believe that you can get that through a simple Google search. and then you can request her personnel files and disciplinary records from each of those individual departments, which would be extremely helpful. And when you get that, send me a copy. That would be awesome. Send me a copy of the records request when you file it as well, so that I can have both, if you would like to. But if you're going to do the work, you might as well help me out in the process. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You guys take a question?
Yeah, take a
Sure.
question. What's up?
Fight Clip Films asks, so why were you still detained after the mother identified you as the father on the phone call?
Because-
at that point, what reason would they still have to continue contact?
I can't think of one.
Well, I really can't think of one. Although I do see how the officers are saying that they actually cannot fully identify the lady on the phone as the actual mother of those children. But I do think that the child saying that's my mom, the contact name on the phone as the mom, the information that she provided to them, um, and the totality of the evidence that to disprove or to go against their preconceived notion that I kidnapped them and whatnot, then that should have been the end of that. I don't know why it took them an hour to decide what to charge me with. Oh, because they didn't know what to charge me with. They had to make it up.
I can't believe she discovered interference like it was the first time on that side of the tree.
Well, it may have been. Maybe she's just so used to people just complying and licking the boot.
Right.
Maybe she's never had someone who, surely they've had one person,
You'd think.
right? Because they do that. I mean, interference is pretty common.
Oh yeah, they charge me with it all the time.
Well, yeah. Well, you're a special kind of guy. Oh my
So some of the
God.
things that are important to say in these series, you have to identify that you were engaged in lawful activities the whole time. It becomes important in federal court later.
Everything, every word is important.
True. I include everything prior by reference because I'm too lazy to type it all out again. Now, did you stay away from that area when you went down there? Or did you go right back into Lions Den?
To the camp spot?
To the courts there and shit.
Oh yeah.
Public
Oh
employees.
no. I went. Yeah, of course I went back there.
Good.
Yeah. They're way more polite than they were last time.
Isn't that funny how
Every
that
time.
kind of happens?
Yes, it is.
You have to state in each one that the defendant acted under the full color of state law. So they won't let you in.
Well, I think she did. Oh my God, what time is it? It's 11.
It's 11.
Let's see how much time it needs.
So by going into the vehicle, she conducted a search. And by manipulating the article, she conducted a seizure, is my allegation.
Okay. So this condition that we're in right now, I'm going to talk to my.
What condition is that, you stupid bitch? She did, in fact, report you to social services and the school, didn't she?
Quite immediately. Yeah. Immediately.
Okay. So I'll talk to my sergeant. Let me get your phone number because I can see you're okay with this, correct? That's because your husband and he yeah. I can tell you as a mother, there's absolutely no way I'd be okay with my kids in this condition.
What condition?
Yeah, you'd be surprised what you could endure.
I don't even know how
We can't show the rest of
describe
this.
it. So it's a
Hey,
pop-up
we
camper.
can't show the rest of this.
For one, there's no
Did I
water.
fall asleep?
Okay,
Huh?
there's no
Yeah, you
AC,
fell
there's
asleep.
no
We can't show the rest of this.
electricity.
Oh, did he shut it off
We
already?
Yeah.
got
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
fell asleep.
I think that's a good point to close it on.
So
Huh.
this
I can
right
tell
up.
you, as a mother, fucking
been a long
bitch.
day.
It has been a long day. Long day for you. Fuck,
So
we drove
this
all
is a
day.
statement that I stole from my lawyer because everybody's too fucking lazy to repeat everything you just said. So it's just all there. She wasn't aware of any warrants or anything, that none existed. She knew that your broadcast was lawful, or she should have known because she should have been studying instead of sucking dick. She acted under full color of state authority and law, and that's where the deprivation of rights under color of law comes from. Your claim exists here, if it exists at all, because she was acting in full color of state law, and because this incident is completely isolated from all of the charges that you were charged with. And we need to get really good at finding those things and nailing these cops right away.
Right away, yeah, because a lot of times these cases take years. I mean,
Many years.
you've just recently gotten some of your cases taken off that have been on going through the court for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then once you start this process, the civil process, it could take several more years after that.
And then, I mean, by then the lesson is not learned anyway, and you lose interest. And
Right. So when you're trying to punish a criminal after a conviction or someone who has been found guilty, they want to do it as fast as possible. Right. And then your sentence is carried out as fast as possible. At least it's begun as fast as possible.
yeah,
Unless you wear a badge.
Magic badge.
A magic badge lets you continue working as if nothing had happened for possibly another decade, 5 years to a decade.
You certainly had a reasonable expectation that your equipment would be secure and unmolested because you were not under arrest.
That's why I left it there.
And you told that fucking bitch to leave her dick skinners out of there.
I told her to leave her dick skinners out of there. I don't consent to any searches or seizures.
Deprive plaintiff of his property interests were unlawful. Some claims have different different levels of mental state, the mens rea that you have to meet. So this statement is also plagiarized, but it basically includes practically every mens rea that could exist. One of them is going to stick to the wall. Just remember that. You can make more than one claim within the same statement.
Right. That's what they do to us.
Mm-hmm. And you certainly suffered injuries and damages.
I absolutely have. I'm not the only one. So don't think that this is going to be the last one of this sort. Again, this is just, what we've done so far.
Defendant Osborn's conduct violated clearly established rights secured for plaintiff by the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, which any reasonable officer in her position knew or certainly should have known. And that's important too, this clearly established right. What is a clearly established right? It's a right that has been opined to such a level by upper courts or has a Supreme Court ruling that is essentially binding to where you're at. So in Royse City, in Rockwall, those guys that were arrested for chalk. In a nearby city, they just recently had a guy arrested for chalk, and they dismissed his case, didn't they?
They did.
You find out who that was and get all those details.
Where could I haven't got a response back from his email.
If everybody in the region does it, then it's pretty much clearly established for you too. So doesn't it be unlawful to have this occur? And she should have fucking known better.
Of course she knew better. There's already a first. Well, I mean, she should have. It's reasonable to expect that she had. I see no reason why her chief, who, after having multiple visits from people such as I, also and others who have been in that same place and spoken to him, wouldn't have instructed his officers on First Amendment and tampering with people's recording devices. At this point, surely, right?
Surely.
Surely, because this is way after. I mean, this was all the first shit is fucked up and stuff was already the first.
Oh, it was almost a year ago.
Was a year ago. Yeah, at this point it was over half a year. So
I'm throwing up a claim for free speech, free press censorship, specifically because by terminating the broadcast, she prevented you from delivering your message.
yeah,
She absolutely censored your message. So pretty comfortable with that one. This fourth claim is, I might be stretching here, but I'm not sure, which is why you need to go get legal counsel.
yeah. Well, I'm looking up. I'm trying to look up some of the references and back notes too. Get those into the Google Drive.
And some of these things you have to state, right? You have to state who did what to violate this right. You have to have those elements in there. So a lot of times these statements might look wordy and legally shit, but they actually do have meaning, ostensibly. For a fifth claim of relief, I'm asserting a due process problem. They deprived you of your property without the due processes of law. And they didn't go back and get a warrant signed later.
Oh, they never believed that they needed one.
Right.
Right. Because you can just say officer safety and that lets you do anything.
Fuck your officer.
Fuck your safety. What about my safety? I'm not so. Ah, fuck yeah.
Grant?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It came on fast. Ah, ah.
So she had no legitimate lawful authority to search for your camera and terminate the broadcast. It's a search and seizure, Stephanie, and you knew better.
You fucking knew better.
We got to get really good at finding these pieces of claim, you guys. And so hopefully this document can help guide you guys. Like I said, don't ever take my work as legal work because I cannot represent you. It's a felony for a reason.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I have not been to law school. I don't know the law.
No, but you can write stories.
I write great stories.
You do write great stories.
I'm claiming that she also tampered with your evidence. She should have known that that recording would be useful in court.
Well, it should not have been useful in court because there was no crime committed. So it should have been a boring.
Yes, they committed a crime and you recorded it.
It should have been a very boring. Hey, how you doing? Anybody bleeding? You
Nope,
thirsty?
just Jesus Janet up in Colorado. She's the only one bleeding this week.
Hey, if you guys need a place to go, we can get you a motel voucher.
Nice,
You know, that would have been nice. That would have been service.
So for each of these claims, I kind of put one last paragraph that kind of sums up the elements. Plaintiff seeks relief for these injuries sustained on that date when that person with this mens rea acting under color of state authority deprived the plaintiff of his rights to blah 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 when she blah 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 blahs. You have to specify this actor violated this right. We're going to kick it out. Remember, you have to date these forms when you send them in.
Of course.
And you'll find that federal courts are pretty forgiving. You don't have to worry too much about it as long as you get it filed. Once you get it filed, oh, ladies and gentlemen, their world will come to a screeching halt. You didn't park under any holes, did you? They
Under
can't shoot you from above.
what?
They're gonna kill you, you know.
Oh, well, maybe.
You gotta get good hiding places.
Yeah, like under a tree
There's Jonah.
or in a field.
So please watch this video slowly and over again so Jenna can get her watch minutes up. I'll give you a brief update on court today. Switch to the camera where you'll see both of us about to pass out. It's been a long day. So I start my second day of my jury trial tomorrow. I can't talk about any testimony because there are still witnesses that haven't testified, and I wouldn't want them to stumble across this broadcast and hear about testimony. Sequestration only is to prevent witnesses who have not yet testified from hearing elements of evidence that has already been testified to in court. So since there's still several witnesses that haven't testified, there's still sequestration on that. I will tell you that I don't know which way it's going to go yet, but this is the public defender case where they forged the document and then got mad at me and had me arrested for getting mad at them. So these guys in the gallery say we don't see the jury buying their story, do they?
I would make a comment.
Yeah, there's definitely been some good shit come out today. Testimony that I have been trying to get for 5 years.
It is a very interesting, 5 years.
For 5 years, yeah.
I can't wait till that's
everything I've been telling you about the public defender not following the law turns out to in fact be true. And I finally got that testimony in the record. I'm really excited about that. I don't look excited because it's been a long day, but I'm really excited.
Dude, I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drove all night.
So day 2 of the trial tomorrow. Also, Liberty Free TV begins a trial in Arapahoe.
It's good to see you, man.
Hey, man. This guy came down the stairs. I was already working this morning. I didn't even bother to get out of bed. I just sat there working. And this guy comes down the steps. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. Thanks, man.
No problem.
It was a good surprise.
It's good to see you, man.
You got to see raw deer today?
Yes. So that's a process that I've been barred from so far.
You've been barred from that?
Yeah.
Why?
They say voir dire is a private thing. And
oh no, it's not.
In there.
Absolutely, it's not.
So I do have a copy of the court rules. I'm not rocking the boat at all.
It's in the court rules?
I think it is. No. The processes and things of that sort. I have a book on it.
Voir dire is open to public.
Yeah, that's what I had thought.
We don't do sacred proceedings unless you're Denver.
Yeah. So but I had only read it, that had been a year ago. When I read the process,
don't be silly.
Processes. Right. So I've been not allowed to sit in on the voir dire process. But as soon as that is completed, I can sit in there for the rest of it.
Have you been kicked out multiple times?
Yeah.
From different courtrooms?
Yeah.
Different courthouses?
2 different courthouses.
Really?
Multiple courtrooms, different judges.
They're not allowing any bystanders in the courtroom during voir dire round.
Yeah, that's right.
Fascinating. You might want to find out what that's all about. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, well, again, I don't like rocking the boat because these people are fucking dangerous.
Because they actually are out to get you.
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
If they find out that I got a hotel room,
they park in front of it all fucking day in the rain.
Right.
That was creepy.
It was.
It's almost as creepy. Oh, you got to meet the murderer today, didn't you? There are several. Specifically, murderer Garignani.
Yeah. So he came. I walked past him, and he is a mountain of a man. He's taller than I am.
He's huge.
He's wider than I am. And he killed the guy. He didn't shoot him, I don't think.
No, he just suffocated him.
He just laid on top of him and crushed him to death.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he started throwing up, he put a spit bag on his face.
Ooh, that was a good move.
Yeah, that's actually smart because you wouldn't want to get a projectile vomit from the guy you just crushed to death.
That would suck, and it couldn't
It
happen.
would suck, yeah. So I guess a spit bag was appropriate.
And bizarrely, apparently he kept trying to find your vehicle, huh?
Yes, he
So
did.
why were those two deputies repeatedly found
These are
over the parking garage when
these are two
you guys
deputies
were over there?
who are assigned to security inside the building.
Inside a building that's a block away from the parking lot.
That's
I
right.
thought that was weird.
So why are these two people walking with each other round and round?
He's
They're-
not
so
actually
they
like a
weren't-
scared victim, is he?
No. Oh,
No.
not at all.
No.
Yeah, so I had to even double check and make sure that that's the guy who claims to be the victim in those cases.
Yep.
So he was looking at. I guess we played a trick on him and didn't even know it.
He's not very bright.
They were looking for my vehicle at one of the meters, right? But we didn't park at a meter today because we knew that we were going to be inside.
For a long time.
Yeah, all day from 9 o'clock until 5 or 5:30, something like that. So we actually took the bullet and got a spot in the parking garage.
So some things that have changed in Denver because of us.
Uh-huh.
You noticed that the judge stopped the trial before 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's our mess. They can't have secret proceedings.
Right.
If security has left the building and
Then
you
they
can't
can't
get back
allow
in,
anybody
then
in.
it's no longer an open trial.
Right.
It took us. I mean, Rogers ran what's her name? Amanda Children's trial till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Yes.
Oh my
It's
God.
ridiculous. So that is a win actually for getting them to stop that.
There's a lot of wins.
There are.
right,
We just got to
and-
kind of
and that's-
compile them.
You know, there's a lot of wins because of how ridiculous their restrictions become.
Oh God.
You can film, you can't film going through the hallway, but you could film both doors. We could set a live stream up at both doors, coming and going, and film every person who comes in and out of that building that day.
So I've actually recently obtained evidence that demonstrates that both of the new court orders in Denver were directly predicated by Alice Norman herself,
Oh, that's interesting. Who is Alex Norman?
the head public defender
The head public
Yeah.
defender.
for the city and county of Denver.
Oh, well, it sounds like maybe I shouldn't say that.
And
Well,
she'll be testifying tomorrow.
Oh, what?
I'm calling her. Yeah, I subpoenaed her right in the fucking courtroom. So the prosecution doesn't want us to see all the secret emails, which aren't secret because they're public records.
Oh, so what you're
So we
saying is,
subpoenaed them, and she responded, tried to quash the subpoena, and the court did do an in-camera review of those messages and released 10 pages of all those messages. That's it, just 10 pages.
well, I mean, if I did a request for all the emails,
And my lawyer's not allowed to give them to me. I'm allowed to see them on his screen. And when the trial's over, he's required to destroy the file and certify to the judge that he did. Cannot be leaked out at all. Public records cannot be leaked out at all.
oh, I wonder why.
What are they trying to hide?
Yeah, so
Well, I can't talk about that.
that's something. Yeah, that's
Oh,
something.
we had a little bombshell today that's looking pretty good.
Man, that's what's hard, dude. I want to just publish it.
It's hard. You can't necessarily, yeah. That's why a lot of the video tonight was limited because there's
Well,
litigation attached around.
yeah, we set up some pretty stiff restrictions, and even though like I'm super cautious about that because
You
you know
know,
it's a fucking big deal.
it is a big deal.
It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it is. You look at how much effort
Oh
I
my
spend to try
God.
and protect my evidence.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a reason. So there you have it. Oh, and Derek Mead followed you outside again, didn't he? He followed you outside when you went to the smoke break. And
Yeah,
walked
so-
up to him with his picture on his phone and asked him if he was Winston.
Yeah.
Why are you stalking this man?
Yeah,
You
why
got
are
the
they allowed
pipes
to do
last
it
week?
to us, but we can't
Right.
even walk behind them?
Right. So that was really weird because I've never met this guy before. I didn't say shit inside. Now I did walk past him and notice that he's a fucking giant.
He is a giant.
He is a
With a
giant.
teeny tiny little head.
And that's coming from Paul Bunyan himself.
Right.
So I wonder how many people are going to get kicked out of the courtroom tomorrow.
All of us.
Judge Rudolph's courtroom locked, I heard.
Good.
Somebody reported they went in there. We went in there to try and collect the forms out of the podium because remember they keep providing the wrong application and they keep not providing page 2. So I sent my investigators to all the courtrooms to get the public defender applications because in my courtroom there's a stack of 100 full color highlighted two-sided application forms hot off the press. Never been there before.
In your courtroom.
I did it in my courtroom for today's trial.
Progress.
I guess.
Hey, well, at least they are in fact aware that there's a problem. I did notice something else though. There's a sign on the door of the public defender's office, letting you know that TANF could be used as proof of income to determine.
I really can't testify. I can't really tell you about some specific testimony that was given today.
Of course not.
Let me just say that I was right, and they're in for a surprise.
They're always in for a surprise because they just don't. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know what the fuck.
Oh
so
my
tomorrow
god!
we can expect to hear from Alice Norman herself.
Guys, I highly suggest. I've learned. So I've been reading for a long time, but I haven't.
Like since you were like 6.
No, like. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rusty. He doesn't like when I pet his back. Kind of grumpy. Yeah, he's an old guy. So
you've been learning from the court proceedings?
Yeah.
You guys gotta go watch court proceedings.
I've been sitting in a lot of court cases lately. God damn it, it's boring, but it's so informative because, you know, you watch it on TV and it's all drama, right? It's scripted, it's edited, it's practiced.
In court, it's organic. It's happening now.
And you see some things that happen that otherwise you would never notice. Watching people's faces as testimony is given.
That's why the judges tell jurors not to focus on their notes, but to focus on the speaker.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, you know, you pick up on body language and stuff. I also like it when one attorney panics when the other side asks for objection or presents some form of evidence that is not favorable, or you know, whatever the case is. It's always funny to see them think about what's going on, realize what's going on, and then do everything they can to stop it immediately.
And the city's attorney, I don't remember his name. I just call him a jackass, but he was making specious objections during opening statements.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks ass. So I think I'm gonna pass out.
He looks like an Undertaker. He looks like a really boring Undertaker.
Yeah, I won't talk about my Undertaker experience.
I don't even want to know.
It wasn't boring.
Oh. I don't even. Anytime Eric says anything in that voice, I just know that it's not going to be pretty. I mean, you can't unhear some things, but apparently, if the judge orders you to not hear something,
we had some of that today.
Yeah.
As the good citizen said, you two should not be allowed in the same place at the same time. We do not let the president and vice president at the same place for a reason.
Oh, you're so sweet. No, not me.
Not me, I inhaled.
Yeah, so did I.
Dan saved the dress.
I got him on a Lewinsky.
So, yeah, tomorrow's second day of trial, Avenue, first day for the Englewood case. And,
Dress.
What?
Dress.
What, Jonna?
Oh.
Hey, Jonna, are you aware that I wore a dress
I said I
to court?
inhaled and I saved the dress.
Are you aware that I wore a dress to court?
He did.
It was pretty.
You couldn't wait to do that.
I could not wait to do that.
So Wednesday is wear your underwear on the outside to court day. It's official. There are no rules requiring you to wear your underwear on the inside.
There are no rules.
So
I'm wearing an over-the-shoulder boulder holder for earmuffs.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
There's also no clear definition of what a shoe is. But apparently there is now an order requiring shoes.
Also
inside the
because of
building.
me.
Come the fuck on. If you're going to require some specific garment, you must also provide the specific
That's
garment.
I recommend making slippers out of a certain deputy's skin.
Whichever one of you're choosing.
You know, Deputy Down.
Deputy Down. He's a good guy.
No, he's not.
Well, he wasn't. And then all of a sudden,
I don't even think I can get out of the couch. I'm so tired.
It's been fucked up. And you got 1,000 more miles to go.
Yeah, you do.
6 days to get there.
And I can't give you any more money for it because
I
I'm
know.
broke now.
Yeah, we all are.
Isn't that great?
Yep.
So,
The 15th, I have 5 days to get back to Texas. No, 4
you
days.
better do it.
Yeah. So it looks like I'm going to miss your
I'm
trial.
too lazy to terminate the live stream.
How do you do it?
You gotta click on some buttons.
Oh.
I think that one